Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy. It is a faithful saying, if a man desires the episcopate, he desires a good work. Therefore it is necessary for a bishop to be beyond reproach, the husband of one wife, sober, prudent, gracious, chaste, hospitable, a teacher, not a drunkard, not combative but restrained, not quarrelsome, not covetous, but a man who leads his own house well, having children under his subjection with all chastity. For if a man does not know how to lead his own house, how will he take care of the church of God? He must not be a new convert, lest, being elated by pride, he may fall under the sentence of the devil. But it is also necessary for him to have good testimony from those who are outside, so that he may not fall into disgrace and the snare of the devil. Similarly, deacons must be chaste, not double-tongued, not given to much wine, not pursuing tainted profit, holding to the mystery of the faith with a pure conscience. And these things must be tested first, and then they may minister, being without offense. Similarly, the women must be chaste, not slanderers, sober, faithful in all things. Deacons should be the husband of one wife, men who lead their own children and their own houses well. For those who have ministered well will acquire for themselves a good position and much confidence in the faith which is in Christ Jesus.
Of mercy and judgment I will sing. To you, O Lord, my praise I bring. I will walk with blameless heart, O Lord, you are my guide. I will walk with blameless heart forever. My heart is pure. I set no wicked thing before me. The haughty fall, the proud depart, but the faithful walk secure. My shield, my strength, my song. Your justice reigns, your mercy strong. From every lie, from pride apart, you call me to a blameless heart. With you.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. And it happened afterwards that he went to a city which is called Nain, and his disciples and an abundant crowd went with him. And when he had drawn near to the gate of the city, behold, a deceased person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the city was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he was moved by mercy toward her, and so he said to her, "Do not weep." And he approached and touched the coffin. Then those who carried it stood still. And he said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." And the dead man sat up and began to speak. And he gave him to his mother. Then fear fell over all of them, and they magnified God, saying, "A great prophet has risen up among us, and God has visited his people." And this word about him went out to all of Judea and to all the surrounding region. Join us for today's reflection. Every time a religious leader falls from grace, we face the same brutal question: should we write them off forever or give them a second chance? In 250 AD, Roman persecution broke thousands of church leaders. Emperor Decius gave every Christian a simple choice: sacrifice to pagan gods or face torture and death. Under that pressure, bishops fled their cities. Priests burned incense to Roman deities. Others bought forged certificates claiming they had sacrificed. The cream of Christian leadership cracked like eggshells. When the persecution ended, the church faced a crisis that threatened to destroy it completely. Two camps emerged with radically different solutions. The rigorists, led by a priest named Novatian, demanded zero tolerance. Anyone who had compromised, especially leaders, had committed an unforgivable sin and must be permanently banned from the church. "We must keep the church pure," they declared. Saints Cornelius and Cyprian led the opposition. They insisted that divine mercy could restore anyone who truly repented. The church should be a hospital for sinners, not a country club for saints. This wasn't just a policy debate, it was a war over the soul of Christianity. The hardliners felt morally superior to those who had failed. They created their own bishops, their own churches, their own version of Christianity that had no room for human weakness. But here's what happened. Their perfect churches gradually disappeared, while the communities that practiced restoration survived and grew. Why? Because deep down, everyone knows they're not perfect. Everyone knows they might crack under enough pressure. Everyone needs both standards and second chances. This is exactly what Jesus demonstrates in today's gospel. He encounters a funeral procession, a mother walking behind the coffin of her only son. Her future has died with him. Without being asked, without requiring proof of faith, Jesus stops the procession and commands, "Young man, arise." The dead son sits up and begins to speak. The message is unmistakable. Divine power specializes in resurrection, not rejection. Paul's leadership qualifications in Timothy make perfect sense in this context. He doesn't demand superhuman achievements but basic character traits: self-control, gentleness, freedom from greed, not quarrelsome, hospitable. These aren't the qualities of people who never fall down. They're the qualities of people who know how to get back up when they do. The persecution had revealed an uncomfortable truth. Formal authority doesn't guarantee spiritual strength. Some bishops fled while laypeople died for their faith. Some priests bought certificates while ordinary Christians chose torture. True leadership emerges from character formed through struggle, not position protected by privilege. When pastors have affairs today, when bishops cover up scandals, when religious leaders we trusted turn out to be frauds, we face Cornelius and Cyprian's exact choice. We can demand their permanent exile to protect our own sense of moral purity, or we can create pathways for genuine restoration that demonstrate the grace we claim to believe in. The rigorists weren't really protecting the church. They were protecting themselves from having to deal with the messy reality of human failure. It's much easier to maintain impossible standards than to practice costly grace. It's simpler to write people off than to walk with them through the hard work of restoration. But Cornelius and Cyprian understood something crucial. How you handle other people's failures reveals what you really believe about grace. And how your community handles your failures will determine whether you experience Christianity as good news or just another impossible standard you can never meet. The question isn't whether leaders will disappoint us. They will, because they're human. The question is whether our response reflects the rigorous mercy that changes lives or the self-righteous rejection that destroys communities. Both Cornelius and Cyprian would later die as martyrs, proving their courage was never in doubt. Their willingness to extend mercy came from strength, not weakness.